Life is not measured only by what you achieve, but by what you understand along the way. In an increasingly fast-paced world, where everything is disposable and the soul is silenced by notifications, it is easy to lose yourself. The pressure to perform, the fear of failure, the constant comparison with others, all of this pushes us into an abyss of anxiety and disconnection. But there is something greater waiting to be awakened within us, a living, present consciousness full of meaning. Philosophy teaches us that living well is about reflection, reflecting on who we are, what we desire, why we do what we do. Psychology, on the other hand, points out that only what is named heals, that what is not said becomes sick. And spirituality reveals that we are not alone, that there is a creator who knows every hair on our head and who calls us by name even when no one else sees us. This encounter between thought, emotion, and faith is what transforms human beings. There is no healing without confrontation. There is no maturation without discomfort. And there is no full life without a connection to something greater. But many live on autopilot, trying to survive instead of living. They trade purpose for performance. They trade connection for control. They trade presence for haste. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself what you are really looking for? What really makes sense to you? When night falls and everything goes silent, what still weighs on your heart? How many wounds are open? How many words have not been said? How many dreams have been forgotten out of fear? You were not created to just pay bills and achieve goals. You were created to grow in spirit, to touch lives, to leave marks of love. Pain is inevitable, but continued suffering is a choice. And many times we choose to suffer because we do not know how to let go, because we insist on what is already over, because we carry guilt that has already been forgiven by God, but not by ourselves. Guilt without learning is a prison. But guilt understood with humility can be a bridge to transformation. There is a difference between guilt and regret. Guilt paralyzes. Regret drives. Because sincere repentance doesn't just make you regret, it changes your path. You no longer need to hide. Your weaknesses are not signs of failure, but starting points. It is in vulnerability that the deepest bonds are born. It is when we recognize that we don't know everything. We make room for divine wisdom to guide us. Faith doesn't demand perfection. It only demands sincerity. It's not about never doubting, but about continuing even when you have doubts. It's not about being strong all the time, but about believing that there is a greater strength when yours ends. How many times have you tried to be someone you're not to please people who don't even really know you? How many times have you silenced your essence to fit into molds that suffocate you? The truth is that being who you are requires courage. The courage to disappoint other people's expectations. The courage to be imperfect. The courage to live with purpose in a world that values appearance. You don't need to be an edited version of yourself. God doesn't bless characters. He blesses real people. And being real is accepting your failures, your conflicts, your contradictions. It's looking in the mirror and saying, I'm not where I wanted to be, but I'm not where I used to be either. It's recognizing progress, even if it's slow. It's celebrating each step, even if it's small, because true growth is silent, often invisible to others, but powerful in God's eyes. It all starts when you decide to stop running away from pain, loneliness, and responsibility for your own story. As long as you keep blaming the past, others, or circumstances, you'll remain trapped. But when you accept that you have choices, even small ones, you start taking the wheel of your life. And that changes everything. Because those who choose consciously choose freely. And make no mistake, freedom is not doing everything you want. Freedom is being guided by what has value, It's knowing how to say no to what distracts in order to say yes to what edifies. It's stopping begging for affection and starting to build dignity. It's leaving survival mode and entering creation mode. You're not here by chance. There's a unique gift within you, something that only you can offer the world. Don't let this gift fall asleep. God didn't create you to compete, but to contribute. Happiness is not in being greater than others, but in being useful to others. It is not in having more, but in living with the truth. It is not in avoiding suffering, but in finding meaning even in pain. When you align yourself with your purpose, life stops being a burden and starts being a mission. Yes, there will be difficult days. Days when your faith seems small and the burden enormous. But on those days, remember, it is not the size of your faith that matters, but the size of the God you believe in. And He continues to be great, even when you feel small. He continues to believe in you, even when you forget who you are. Many times, it will be necessary to silence the voices from outside, to hear the voice from within. It will be necessary to step away for a while to find yourself again. It will be necessary to lose some things to gain what really matters. The emptiness you feel can be space being created for something new to be born. Do not despair. Do not give up. There is still life where you think only ruins are left. There is still purpose where you see failure. There is still hope where everything seems dark. You are a temple. You are a home. You are history in the making. And each tear that falls is a watering can for your faith. Each fall can be a springboard. Each rejection can be protection. Each pain can be a portal. Do not run away from the process. Embrace it, because in the midst of chaos, God is still writing something in you. Something bigger than you imagine. Something that will make sense in the future. It is not too late. It is not too little. It is not too fragile. You are exactly where you need to be to take the next step. And this step does not need to be perfect. It just needs to be true.